In this review we take a look at an offering from a model maker we haven't seen before, and that is Cavallino models. As you can see from the packaging, the model itself is in Mammoet colours, and it is a haulage model. If we flip the box around to the end, we see that it's a Volvo 6x2 FH5 with a 3-axle Faymonville low loader. On the back of the box is a photo of a similar truck, and there's the usual arrangement of branding information. This is Mammoet model number 410313, and there is the Cavallino models logo, and Cavallino is a Dutch company.
Let's weigh it up.
The package flies onto the weighbridge and it's £1, 14 ounces, and that is 860 grams. Righty ho, let's open the box and see what's inside. Well, the quality of the packaging is really pretty good. And there's a tray with a plastic former on top, and we need to cut the tape to be able to open up the lid. First out is the usual Mammoet collector card, and that tells us that 1,000 pieces of the model have been made. After that there are 3 parts to the model, which is a load, the trailer and the tractor. And the only thing to note is that the packaging is quite tight, so you need to be careful in easing the model parts out. Assembly of the model is very straightforward. We just need to attach the tractor to the trailer, and this is somewhat simplified as the kingpin is just a simple pin and it drops into the hole in the middle of the 5th wheel. To complete the assembly there is a boom section which can be used as a load, and because it's long we need to extend the trailer deck. And when we've got a length that seems about right, we can plonk the section on.
Let's weigh it up again.
Out of the box we can put all of the parts of the model onto the weighbridge, and we end up with about £1, 6 ounces, and in Metricana speak that is 635 grams. We start underneath the Volvo, and in detail terms, the model is at a simpler end of the scale compared to others. The main transmission components are there, as is some of the suspension parts, but the steering axles are modelled more for functionality. The tyre tread patterns are similar. The roof has got some good moulding, and there are stub aerials and beacon lights. The roof light is not see-through. There are the usual mirrors and windscreen wipers, and the paintwork and graphics are very good. The front grille is nicely detailed, and there's a license plate and chevron bumper at the bottom. The Mammoet graphics on the side of the cab are very crisp, and that includes a fleet number. Smaller details are also pretty good, such as the steps up into the cab are textured. One compromise though is that the cab mirrors are not silvered. Behind the cab there is a cabinet with grab rails, and the detailing of the tank below is pretty good. The wheel arches are plastic like the real trucks, and the wheels have decent detailing. Going back to the grab rails, you can see that they are soft plastic, but the back of the cab has details within the casting and the graphics are sharp. But a compromise on the model is that there are no coiled lines. There are textured walkway surfaces, and at the back there's a license plate and Volvo on the mud flaps. There's some finer quality detailing on the exhaust box. Looking underneath the trailer, and things are at the simpler end of the scale. The landing legs are in tough plastic and there are fixed marker boards, and the large black screw heads are fairly obtrusive. The detailing of the axles also has a simplified look. But at the back there are stabiliser legs. At the front of the gooseneck there is a spare wheel and wheel chocks, and there's also a fleet number. The graphics are all very sharp. On the trailer deck the different surface materials are represented by painting, and you can see the sideboards are of soft plastic. The decoration down the side of the trailer includes a silver line, and there are non-functional tie-downs. The tiny control console has detailing. There are more tie-downs cast into the deck surface, and there are also different textures, Moving to the rear of the trailer, and the wheels look pretty good. And between them there are rigid plastic mud flaps. At the back there's another license plate and a big Faymonville sign, but the smaller details are plain black plastic. The included load is very good. It's a nicely cast boom section in Mammoet colours, and it includes internal bracing at one end. To begin with, the wheels all spin reasonably freely, and as this is a 6x2 chassis, the front two axles have linked steering, and this works reasonably well with a decent range. Out on the road, the Volvo tootles along pleasantly enough, and if we do our usual trick of setting a steering, it will follow a shallow curve. If you do set the steering tighter, the usual thing happens and the wheels get fouled. One modelling compromise is that the cab does not tilt. Moving to the trailer, and again the wheels spin freely enough, and there's a nice bit of functionality with the rear axle having steering, and it achieves a good angle. A nice touch is that the rear stabilisers can be lowered into position, so you could accurately simulate rear end loading. Moving to the other end though, the landing legs seem to be fixed into position. On the road, not all of the wheels of the tractor and trailer are completely grounded, so they don't all roll. In terms of the gooseneck, it does allow wild jackknifing, and the whole combination does steer reasonably well. The other main feature of the trailer deck is that it is extendable, and after some initial stiffness you can get an impressive length.
Time for a dim check.
And to check that length we get the tape out, and it's nearly 17 inches or 43 centimetres. Cavallino has produced a good looking model with reasonable features and details, and the overall quality is very good. It has been produced to meet a much lower price point than some of the competitors, and so any compromises have to be viewed in that light. The result is that this model is very good value for what you get, so it is a cheaper way to build up a fleet of trucks, and with that in mind it's rated as very good.